Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to present about transportation modes. We have 5 transportation modes, and first I would like to talk about road transport. Definition of road transport is road transportation means transportation of goods and personnel from one place to the other on roads. Road is a route between two destinations, which has been either paved or worked on the enable transportation by way of motorized and non-motorized carriages. Second, we have characteristics of road transport. First, road transport offers complete freedom to road user to transfer the vehicle from one lane to other. Second, road transport serves the agricultural area by transporting of goods. Third, roads are used by various categories of vehicles. Fourth, construction and maintenance of road transport is cheaper. We move to advantages and disadvantages of road transport. First advantage of road transport is service in rural areas. Road transport is most suited of carrying goods and people to and from rural areas which are not served by rail, water or air transport. Exchange of goods between large towns and small villages is made possible only through road transport. Second, flexible service. Road transport has a great advantage over other modes of transport for its flexible service. Its routes and timings can be adjusted and changed to individual requirements without much inconvenience. Lastly, less cost. Road transport not only requires less initial capital investment, the cost of operation and maintenance is also comparatively less. Even if the rates charged by motor transport is a little higher than that by the railways. The actual effective cost of transporting goods by motor transport is less. The actual cost is less because the motor transport saves in packing costs and the expenses of intermediate loading, unloading, and handling charge. Now we move to disadvantages of road transport. First, unsuitable for long distance and bulky traffic. This mode of transport unsuitable and costly for transporting cheap and bulky goods over long distance. Second, seasonal nature. Motor transport is not as reliable as rail transport. During rainy or flood season, roads become unfit and unsafe for use. Third, lack of organization. The road transport is comparatively less organized. More often, it is irregular and undependable. The rates charged for transportation are also unsuitable and unequal. Now we move to pictures of road transport. You can see my slide. We have 20 pictures of road transport. You can see the all of the road transport is the user I use nowadays. Second transportation route is railroad. Definition of railroad: transferring passengers on goods on wheeled vehicles running on rails, which are located on tracks. In contrast to road transport, where the vehicles run on a prepared flat surface, rail vehicles are directionally guided by the tracks on which they run. So now we move to characteristic railroad. First, public utility service. Railways provide an essential service to the public. It being a public utility service requires protection and investment by government. Second, huge investments. The railways require huge investments for purchase of land, laying of tracks, constructing railway stations and sheds, buying automobiles. No single individual can afford to make all these investments. Third, privileges. The railways require special privileges to provide efficient transport service. Railways require special properties rights for purchase of land, construction of bridges, and railway lines. Now we move to advantages and disadvantages to railroad. First, advantages of railroad is dependable. The greatest advantage of the railway transport is that it is the most dependable mode of transport, as it is the least affected by weather conditions such as rains, fog, compared to other modes of transport. Second, better organized. The rail transport is better organized than any other form of transport. It has fixed routes and schedules. Its service is more certain, uniform, and regular as compared to other modes of transport. Third, high speed over long distances. Its speed over long distances is more than any other mode of transport, except airways. Thus, it is the best choice for long-distance traffic. Now we move to disadvantages of railroad. First, huge capital outlay. The railway requires large investment of capital. The cost of construction, maintenance, and overhead expenses are very high as compared to other modes of transport. Moreover, the investments are specific and immobile. In case the traffic is not sufficient, the investments may mean wastage of huge resources. Second, lack of flexibility. Another disadvantage of railway transport is its inflexibility. Its routes and timings cannot be adjusted to individual requirements. Third, no rural service. Because of huge capital requirements and traffic, railways cannot be operated economically in rural areas. Thus, large rural areas have no railway service even today. This causes much inconvenience to the people living in rural areas. Now you can see my slide. We have pictures of railroad. We have 20 pictures of railroad. You can see the one by one.
Air transport. Air transport is the movement of passenger and cargo by aircraft such as airplane and helicopter. Air transportation has become the primary means of common carrier traveling. Air transportation also provides a communication or medical link, which is sometimes vital between the different group of people being served. The characteristic of air transport is unbroken journey. Air transport provides unbroken journey over land and sea. It is the fastest and the quickest means of transport. The second one is rapidity. Air transport has the highest speed among all the modes of transport. Third one, expensive. Air transport is the most expensive means of transport. There is huge investment in purchasing aeroplanes and construction of aerodromes. The fourth one, special preparation. Air transport requires special preparation like wheelers, links, meteorological station, floodlight, searchlight. The advantage of air transport is high speed. The supreme advantage of air transport is high speed. It is the fastest mode of transport, and thus this is the most suitable mean where time is an important factor. The second one is comfortable and quick service. It provides a regular, comfortable, efficient, and quick service. The third, no investment in construction of track. It does not require huge capital investments in the construction and maintenance of surface track. 4. No physical barriers. It follows the shortest and direct route as seas, mountains, and forests do not keep in the way of air transport. The disadvantage about air transport is very costly. It is the costly means of transport. The fare of air transport are so high that it is beyond the reach of the common man. Second one is small carrying capacity. Its carrying capacity is very small and hence is not suitable to carry cheap and bulky goods. The third one is uncertain and unreliable. Air transport is uncertain and unreliable as it is controlled to a great extent by weather conditions. Unfavorable weather such as fog, snow, or heavy rain. may cause cancellation or scheduled flight, and suspension of air service. The fourth one, breakdown and accident. The chance of breakdown and accident are high as compared to other modes of transport. Hence, it involves comparative greater risk. Sea transport. Sea transport is ship transport is watercraft carrying people or goods. Sea transport has been the largest carrier freight throughout recorded history. Although the importance of sea travel for passengers has decreased due to aviation, it is effective for short trip and pleasure cruise. Transport by water is cheaper than transport by air, despite fluctuating exchange rate and CSF charge to account for such. The characteristic of sea transport is large volume of sea freight. International cargo transportation is the exchange of goods around the world. The ability of sea freight to pass. Sea freight uses natural waterway in all directions. Sea freight is cheap. Marine cargo has strong adaptability to goods. The advantage about sea transport is less maintenance costs. Maintenance cost is rail and road transport is quite high, but maintenance cost of water transport is quite less. Second one is cheap. The transport channel is quick cheap as compared rail and road transport. The third one is useful for bulky goods. Heavy and bulky goods can be transported easily at little cost through water transport. The fourth one is useful during natural calamities. During natural calamities like flood and rain, when rail and road transport is disrupted, relief operation can be operated through water transport. The disadvantage about sea transport is slow speed. It is a slow means of transport. Failure of monsoon result into fall in the water level of drive, making navigation difficult. Second one, more risky. Water transport is more risky as compared to other means because there is always danger of sinking ship or boats. The last one, pipeline transport. Pipeline transportation is a method of transport which involves movement of solid, liquid, or gaseous product over long distance through pipeline. This mode of transportation is mostly used for transport of crude and refined petroleum products such as oil and natural gas. The characteristic of this pipeline transport is an unique mode of transportation. They can move large quantity of certain type of commodities, mainly fluids, over long distance at relative low cost. The operations are environmentally friendly, dependable, and continuous. The pipeline can be loaded on a wide variety of terrain without much difficulty. The advantage of this pipeline transport is reduction in cost of transport is very significant. Supply through pipeline is very reliable. It is free from obstacles in road and rail transport. In case of underground pipelines, the land in which pipeline is laid can still be used for agriculture use. 4. It is ensure supply in remote areas where roadways are not very good. Also, it provides safe and secure supply for defense needs. The disadvantage about this pipeline transport, unlike road, not separately acquisition is done for pipeline. Sometimes it is laid sidewise along the road, which is not very convenient if it's passing through dense populated areas. Also, there is always a risk of damaging pipeline because of road repair and other activity containing excavation. Second one, illegal preferage and wastage due to leak is a problem in pipeline. Third one, like other big liner structure properly and maintenance of pipeline is a huge task. Fourth, in case of chemical and petroleum pipeline, any leak can cause an accident.